Hi! So as you can tell by the title of this video, I just want to do a video on my box braids. I did install these box braids myself, and yeah, so this is the first time I've ever installed box braids myself. I had box braids when I was like 4 or 6, like that's the last time I ever had box braids, and they were like probably at shoulder length. If I have a picture I will insert it, but yeah, so I haven't had box braids in my hair for about over 20 years. So it's been a long time since I've had box braids in my hair. The kind of hair that I used for these box braids was the Expressions hair. It's upside down. Is it? Oh, sorry. No, it's upside down. I used the Expressions hair just because I saw a lot of YouTubers use it. It is the premium kind, and if my camera will focus, it is the ultra braid, and I got it in 1B. So this is the hair that I used. It is 82 inches and the weight is 165 grams. So this is the type of hair that I did use. I didn't cut it in half because I noticed when I cut it in half it was too short. My box braids are about this long. So what I did do was for each pack I just measured it where I wanted and pulled it to right about my hip and then just cut it. So normally I cut off about the last 3 to 4 inches. I used about 9.5 packs of hair to get my hair to look like this. Let me pull it to the front so you guys can see the full thickness. So this right here is about 9.5 packs of hair that I use. Some tools that I did use for my braids to comb out the fake hair was these two right here. I used a paddle brush and a wide tooth comb. I noticed when I used these two I lost like less fake hair. You don't really want to use a fine tooth comb because sometimes the fake hair can get knotted and tangled and matted up. So these two right here worked perfectly. To prepare my hair before I put the box braids in, I use this right here. This leave-in conditioner that I got from a natural hair expo. For the roots of my hair, just so they laid flat, I use aloe vera gel. And I just put it on the roots just so that it would lay flat and they wouldn't be sticking up because I am 6 months post. And for the ends of my hair, as you can see, they are burnt. And how I burnt the ends of my hair, because I kind of wanted that like 90s hairstyle look, I used a flat iron. I just took the braid and where I wanted to end, which was at my belly button. So I measured to my belly button, took the hair and just put it in the flat iron. I turned my flat iron all the way up and I just held it till I started to see it burn, like melt kind of, and then I just kind of twisted the fake hair around in it, make sure that it was all melted. You can also use the method where you dip it in hot water, but I am going to be going to the pool and swimming, so I just didn't want my hair to unravel, and then I'm swimming and there's one box braid over there, there's another box braid over there, and there's one floating in front of me. It would just be so embarrassing. So I felt they would make sure they don't unravel is just to burn them. That's just my thing. So now let's just get to the tips on box braids. I am a beginner, and I do feel like sometimes when you watch videos from professional people or people who have been braiding their hair for a long time, they tend to leave things out just because they're not thinking in the mindset of a beginner. And I feel like since this is my first time and I am kind of like a beginner at box braids, I just want to share some things that I ran into and just some kind of tips and tricks that I use. First things first is you're going to want to practice. So I went out and bought a practice pack of hair and just practiced on my hair about 2 weeks before I actually put these box braids in. I practiced making sure that I knew how to connect the box braids to my hair. I practiced on the different sizes that I want to part my own natural hair, how big I want to part my natural hair, and also how big I wanted the box braids to be. The parting and connecting it to your scalp that I felt was kind of more of the difficult parts for me, just because I can't part my hair for anything. Like I just can't part in a straight line. I don't know why. It's just a problem of mine. I can't draw a straight line. I can't part a straight line. Lines are not my friends. But so yeah, you want to practice your hair. Also, another thing that I did notice, or a trick for box braids, especially if you have sensitive scalp, is that you want to soak the box braids in 1/4 apple cider vinegar to water mixture. Kind of just fill your sink up with water, or fill your sink halfway up with water. Take a cup of apple cider vinegar and dump it in there. Take the braids and dip the part like that will be near your scalp, so about this much of the braid in the apple cider vinegar mixture. Leave it in there about 30 minutes and then you'll see a white film coming off, and that's that film that's covering the braids that will cause your scalp to kind of get irritated. Another thing that I've noticed is that you want to have a piece of hair that you can measure all the other braids to, because to get your hair to look professional, you want each braid to kind of be the same size. So while I was doing my practice, once I got the braid the size that I wanted, I unraveled that braid and kept that hair. So I compared every other piece of hair to that width of hair, and then I just laid them on the floor, as you guys can see in this clip, off of the pack. And I did that for each pack just to make sure that each braid was the same width. So another thing that I did, I noticed a lot of people on YouTube, they feather the whole pack once they get it. When I was feathering the whole pack, it would just get matted and knotted and tangled, and I was losing a lot of hair. So what I did was, after I parted each hair and laid them on the floor, I feathered each one individually, and that was just easier for me. I would feather a little bit, and then I would just kind of finger detangle. You want to kind of feather and finger detangle, feather and finger detangle, just so the hair doesn't get knotted too much when you're just pulling, and then the whole other side is just knotted and you're trying to comb that out. So I would just pull a couple of strands, finger detangle that side. You just want to keep pulling strands and finger detangling, pulling and finger detangling and combing, just so your hair doesn't get matted up too much, because when your hair gets too much knots and tangles, you start to lose hair, and you know, we pay for this hair, so you don't want to lose it. You want to use as much as you can. Another thing that I did was I parted my hair, the whole front part. I hit my hair before I even put the box braids in. Like I said before, I have problems parting. If you don't have problems parting, you don't have to do that, but it just helps because you want to make sure at least the front part of your hair, like when you pull it back and everything, is symmetrical on each side, and your parts are good, so you can wear a middle part. I can pull the hair, wear a side part. You just want to make sure the front of your hair is done the neatest and the best, because that's what people are going to see. So I made sure I parted that off first, so everything was good, and all I had to do was just take, you know, just go. But if you're okay with parting and then braiding and parting and braiding and parting and braiding, you can do that. But in the beginning, I would say just at least try to part the whole front of your hair and go. The back doesn't have to be that neat because the hair is going to be falling on it, so it will hide your imperfections. Another thing is, when you are braiding the length of your hair, you do want to take your time. Let me scoot in. To make your braids look professional and neat, you want them to kind of look very nice and tight, and no nicks or like any like problems throughout your hair. You kind of just want it to look really tight. Of course, my braids probably have a couple of nicks in them because I'm not a professional, but it did. The one reason it took me so long is because I was braiding, and then once I saw like if a piece right here was sticking out and it was wrong, I would just go back. And you just want to make sure you do it pretty tight and neat throughout, especially from like the top all the way to right about where your breasts start, because that's where most people are going to see. That's going to kind of frame your face, so you want that part to look really neat and nice. And if you do have problems with that, I would say this is when the jewelry kind of comes in handy, because if you see a part of your braid like a nick that's wrong, especially if it's like up near your face where people are going to see it, you could just take some of this jewelry and clip it right on, and no one even knows if that part is messy or not. So another thing that I noticed as a new person is most people, when they are new, they just kind of take the fake hair and use the two strands like that and put it on their hair and use their hair as the third section, and then once they get past the part where they can't have no more hair, they just borrow hair. That also makes your braids look not as neat, because sometimes you can kind of see where you started to borrow hair. And also for like somebody who is relaxed, that may not be the best method either, because it can start to slip a little bit. So what I've noticed is what I did was I used it where you kind of take the hair. Let me show you guys. So I do have a clip of me doing it, but I was doing it in the bathroom, so it was a little blurry. So I just want to show you guys what I did. I just kind of took the hair, and I'll leave videos in the description box below of people explaining it better. But I took the hair like this, and I just pinched off like a little bit of hair. Like you want this section, here we go. You want this section to be smaller than this section, and you just kind of part it. So then you want to part it into two, and you want to take the smaller section and just kind of wrap it around the bigger section. So then your two sections kind of become like interlocked, and that's how I did it. So now you have three sections. You have the one that was smaller goes into one, and then you have these two sections. So these would be your three sections of hair that you will use. And then how I put it in my hair, I do have a clip trying to show you guys how I put it in. Remember, I am a beginner, so I'll leave some people who actually like kind of showed it better. What you want to do is take your hair that's interlocked, take this piece, the small piece, rest it in between your middle finger and index finger, take your thumb over your index finger to hold it. Now your fingers are pointing straight. You want to point them up, wrap the middle finger down. Now your index finger is sticking up, and take that index finger, and then you're going to take this hair, twist it forward, and you're going to have it go through. And you're going to take the strand that's on the bottom and clip it in between your index finger and middle finger. So you have this one strand, this is a 2 strand, and then this strand over your wrist is 3. So these are your 3 strands right here. So I'm not professional, but that's the only real difficult part other than the parting for me, was just trying to get it to, you know, clip to my hair. Oh, and this hair just gets everywhere. I got fake hair everywhere. I have to vacuum my place, but that's not the point. Is it heavy? Kind of heavy. I mean, I have 9.5 packs, but your neck gets used to it. It's not too heavy. And I did notice when you take the front pieces of your hair and put them on top of your head, like in that top knot bun, that relieves a lot of stress of not majority of the hair just hanging down. But this isn't too heavy at all for me. They are extra long, and the only reason I did them that long, if you are an old subscriber on my channel, you know my hair comes right about like under my boobs, so I tried to make them at least 2 inches longer than my hair, so when I burnt the ends, I wasn't burning my hair. But yeah, this is how my hair looks. If you guys, like I said, if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comment section below, and I'll talk to you in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.